Today we're going to be solving 1/4 plus 1/2. First, we're going to solve it visually. So for our visual, we're going to pretend we have paper plates. So this would be one plate, and then this would be our second plate. For the first plate, we're going to cut it into 1/4 for the first fraction. So that means we'll cut it into 4 equal parts. So this is 1/4, 1/4, 1/4, and 1/4. Our second plate, we'll just cut it in half, and this will be our half and our other half, and that represents our second fraction. So one of the first things that we will notice is that this piece and this piece are equal to each other. So now we can think about maybe combining the two plates. So if we add in another circle and we cut it into 4 pieces, we can now say that this part here is 1/2, right? Which is this part. So that's 1/2, 1/2. And I'll write it in red. Maybe. So that's 1/2. And then we can add in a little piece for our 1/4. And so this would be our 1/4 piece. And so now if we look at it, this is 1/4 and this is 1/4 too. And so we have 3 pieces of 1/4. And so we can say that 1/4 plus 1/4 plus 1/4 is equal to 3/4. Because we know that 2 pieces of 1/4 is the same as 1/2. Now for our next representation, we're going to use fraction strips. So we're going to label this top part fraction strips. And so this is going to be 1 strip. And so this is going to represent 1 whole. And then we're going to break it down and cut it in half. So this is 1/2 and this is 1/2. And then our next strip, we're going to cut it into 4 equal pieces. So this is 1/4, this is 1/4, 1/4, and 1/4. And so one of the first things you could notice about this is that this is also the same. So 1/4 plus 1/4 is the same as 1/2. 1/2 is equal to 1/4 plus 1/4. And so if we know this, then we can say 1/4 plus 1/4 plus 1/4 is equal to 3/4. Now, for our next one, we're going to do a traditional. So one of the traditional ways to solve this is by writing it out and then looking to see what would be our least common multiple. So we are looking for our least common multiple. In this case, we can multiply 1/2 by 2. 2 times 2 to make it into a 4, which would be our least common multiple, because we want the denominator to be the same. Oops. So this would end up being a 2, and this would end up being a 4, because what we do to the bottom, we do to the top. And so now that our denominators are the same, we can add straight across. And so 2 plus 1 is 3. And then on the bottom we have 4. Okay. Now for a word problem. So for the word problem, we're gonna say that Liam ate 1/4 of a pizza for lunch, and 1/2 of the same pizza for dinner. How much pizza did he eat? All right. So what we can do for this one is we can use some shapes. So this can be our pizza. Make it a little smaller. Oh. And I was going to try to change the color, but we're just going to leave the pizzas blue. Okay. All right. And so these are our pizzas. And I just made 3, just so that I don't have to duplicate over and over again. But what we're going to do with the first pizza is we're going to cut it into 4 equal pieces. That way we can see that he first ate 1/4. So if he first ate 1/4, that means that this slice right here is gone. So for lunch, he ate that 1/4 piece. Now for dinner, it says he ate half. So that would mean he ate he would have eaten this slice of pizza right here, because that would have been half. Okay? And so now for our last remaining pizza, so how much would we have left over? We would have just this piece left over. All of this would be gone. All of that would be gone. All right. So again, what do we notice about half? So if he ate half, that means he took this piece and he took this piece, which is the same as saying 1/4 and 1/4. So we can rewrite it as 1/4 plus 1/4 plus 1/4, because 1/4 plus 1/4 is the same as 1/2. And so if 1/4 plus 1/4 plus 1/4, we would have, if we add 1/4 plus 1/4 plus 1/4, we would have 3/4. So he would have eaten 3/4 of the pizza. And that is all for today.